Alright, y'all, Reverend Colonel here, and today we are going to have a shocking experience. Now we're going to work on shocks on the truck. Alright, got some shocks, got from, of course, Summit Racing, and these are Bilstein. Supposed to be the best, or one of the best in the business, so we're going to see how good they are. I'm going to put them in. Alright, so here's our front shock right here next to the coil spring. You see it goes up there, it attaches down around over here through that bolt there, one on each side. In most videos you've seen, they take the front wheel off, but if you look here, I have lots of room to get my arms in here, and there's the top of the shock, and I don't see any reason why I can't get to that without removing the tire. Just a lot of extra work, plus you gotta jack the car and all kinds of stuff. So we're going to attempt to do that, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray down those nuts and with some PB Blaster, so that way I can make sure I can get them off. Alright, so it takes a series of 2 open end wrenches, because you can't get in there on that nut up there with a socket, because the deep well hits up on there on the inside of the wheel well, and so you can't get it. So you got to use a 5/8 and I think it was a 3/4. Double check. 9/16 and a 5/8. That'll do it. So you get the 5/8, I believe, at the bottom there, and the 9/16 at the top, and you got to hold it still so you can loosen it. And once we have this one loose, then we can work on the bottom bolt. Alright, so I got this bottom part free here. I had to take my welding chipping hammer here and had to pry it in here to compress the shock so I could get it over this bolt that holds the bracket that holds the shock here. But it is loose now, and now all I have to do is get that top bolt out and we will have a shock out. Alright, there is the old original shock, 22 years old, and the Bilstein brand new shock right next to it. World of difference in these shocks, and I guarantee that other one was worn out, so I should notice a huge difference. So it's neat how shocks work. Alright, and here's the difference between the old shock on the right there, the black one, factory shock, probably in there for, well, 23 years, and the brand new Bilstein next to it. Quite a difference in how they are designed, and the Bilstein should provide a whole lot better shock absorbing power, especially since the other one is probably worn out after 23 years, so I should notice quite a difference. Alright, here's the first one on the driver's side, all installed. Got it up here at the top. You can see the grommets, and bolted at the bottom. And I was able to do it around my tire and from underneath without any problems. Did not have to take the tire off. And that's the bottom, your base. And up here at the top, what you're going to do is you're going to place one washer on here this way, and then you're going to put one of your grommets. You can see how that is. and that will go on top here and fit right in there. And then once you put it through the hole, you'll put this other washer, put this other grommet on like this, and in your other washer, and in your nut, and you're done. So you'll just stick that top part up in the hole, and you'll have to compress the bottom to get it into that other part, and then put these on, and that's all it is to it for the front shocks. Alright, and there's comparison of the new and the old rear shock. Make sure that you hang on to your hardware, because Bilstein does not send the hardware for the rear shock. They only send the hardware for the top part of the front shock. You also need to reuse your bolt for the bottom that you had before, or buy a brand new one if it's in bad shape. These right here, they look pretty good. I'm going to squirt them down with some PB Blaster and put them back on. So easy takeoff on the back, and now we put it in. Alright, so rear shock, got 18mm bolt at the top and one down here. There we go. There it is at the bottom. So just got that bottom one, which I've already taken the nut off, and then a bolt that goes right into the frame at the top up there that I'm taking off, and that is it, and then it should pop out. So rear is much easier on this truck. Alright, so I've got the rear shocks in. You can see them back there, and the front one's all in the front, which I showed you before, and everything went in pretty good, pretty easy. Alright, so Summit Racing came through for me. I told them exactly what kind of thing I wanted, talked to one of their technicians on the phone. They recommended the Bilstein shocks, and Bilsteins went in good, and they seemed real solid. Took it for a ride, and oh my gosh, what a difference in ride. Not just the bumps and stuff, but just handling, steering, things like that. It's just amazing the difference that new shocks did. I really shouldn't be that surprised, since the other ones were like 30 or 20 something years old, because they're original shocks from 1990. So yeah, pretty old shocks. So made a big difference. So you know, the shocks, you know, it kind of reminds me of prayer. You know, you got to stay in prayer and you know, in tune with the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit will help you, like those shocks, to absorb the cushions and the bumps and stuff in the road, and help you with handling and stuff like that. But you got to be in prayer regularly, and you got to try to live in the Spirit. So anyway, that's my recommendation on that. A+ on the Bilstein shocks, A+ for Summit Racing, and an A+ for God, for praying, and for the Holy Spirit. So anyway, this is the way. Keep your souls clean and your boots dirty. Reverend Colonel signing out.